This happens to be Bisexual Awareness Week, and no one has acknowledged it.
Lesbian History Month was in March. Nobody said a goddamn thing.
Of course, lesbians get a month and we get a week.
How do you get people to come out and see your movie? Well, I'm no expert, but I'd say don't insult your audience if you want them to spend money to see your film. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, columnist with the Toronto Sun, joined by entertainment editor Mark Daniell. And Mark, a couple of movies creating a bit of controversy, but let's start with the movie Bros. This is one that's playing up the street from me, and apparently because I haven't gone to see it, I'm homophobic. Fill me in on what the controversy is here, and why there's a bit of pushback against one of the stars making comments online.
Yeah, so Brian, Bros came out. It was touted as a monumental film for its representation. It was being billed as the first gay rom-com released by a major studio. Universal Pictures is the studio that released it. The movie came out last weekend, and unfortunately, it tanked. It made $4.8 million. It was estimated to make an upwards of $10 million, and this is against a $22 million budget. So $4.8 million is not good by any stretch of the imagination. The star and writer Billy Eichner came out on Twitter and basically blamed straight people for not going to see the film. Straight people in certain parts of America is what he said. And he went on to add that he's proud of the movie, and then sort of implied that you should see this movie if you're not a homophobic weirdo. So I don't know about that sales tactic of saying, well, straight people didn't come out and that's why my movie flopped. When your movie makes $4.8 million, I think that a lot of people didn't go, straight and gay.
Oh my God, do you guys remember Straight People?
Yeah, they had a nice run.
Yeah, and look, you can point to Brokeback Mountain, you can point to a whole series of movies, Lacacia Falls, Birdcage, Philadelphia. People are not against, there's a long list. People are not against going to see movies that have main characters or even the main theme being gay. But this is a rom-com. Rom-coms don't always do great. Sometimes they do, but who's the primary audience for rom-coms? Women. And men aren't really all that into, trust me, I watch rom-coms and I get a lot of stick from friends of mine for watching them because most men don't want to watch them. And now you've got a rom-com starring two men. Maybe that's part of the sales problem.
Well, also, Brian, I think part of the sales problem was the star himself.
Gay guys are so stupid.
I know. But we've been smart enough to brand ourselves as being smart.
It's our little secret.
Billy Eichner is not a well-known actor.
No.
He has done... Billy on the Street was his big thing. It's a game show that was on TV, aired 5 seasons.
Hey guys, it's Billy. I'm out here back on the street with famous and beloved straight man, Paul Rudd. We're gonna spread the word about my new movie, Bros. You ready, Paul?
Yeah!
Let's bro! Sir, Paul Rudd wants you to see Bros.
What's up, Paul Rudd?
You guys gonna see Bros, my new movie, September 30th.
I'm one of the bros, so I gotta watch.
Tell all your bros to see Bros.
All your bros to see bros.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Third.
A lot of gay sex in it.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of readers that I heard from were very much of the mind of, I don't know this guy. The movie didn't look funny to me. It doesn't mean that I'm homophobic. And you're right. Rom-coms struggle. Comedies have struggled.
You
one of the things.
Tell me about this. You spoke to somebody who follows box office and says all comedies, not just rom-coms, which is a subgenre, but all comedies are struggling at the box office now. Why?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it stems from Adam Sandler's decision to move completely over to Netflix. Adam Sandler struck a deal with Netflix 4 or 5 years ago. All his movies go straight to streaming. Some do get a limited theatrical release. But what you saw is just this shift, almost a cultural shift, where people just want to sit at home and laugh at home. It's not an experience that a lot of people feel that they need to have in a big theater. The big theaters are reserved for Top Gun and Marvel and big tent poles. and science fiction action movies. But comedies, you can watch those at home.
Even a good high-end drama, maybe. But a rom-com, like, look, they're the movies that are on W Network every Saturday night, and a 1.5 hour movie stretches out to 3.5 hours, and you sit there and you watch the whole thing. So it's not like people won't watch them, but I think you're right. Even if you're watching them in more conventional formats rather than streaming, you're doing it at home. And when I think of rom-coms over the years, there's generally been a big female star. It could be a big male star, but you think of Julia Roberts and Meg Ryan over the years, Reese Witherspoon. These were women that drew at the box office each and every time they went out. That's not Billy Eichner. So blaming it on homophobia, I think that's a losing sales strategy. Let me ask you about the other controversy around movies, and that's Don't Worry, Darling. So this is a movie that set in the 1950s. It is a movie about, you would know more about it than me because you've seen it, but it tries to set up that there's a villain played by Chris Pine, and Olivia Wilde, the director.
I'm curious to hear where she's going with this.
Came out in an interview and said that she based Chris Pine off of Jordan Peterson, who she described as the leader of the incels. Now, both Bros and Don't Worry, Darling are playing up the street for me. I haven't gone to the theater to see either one of them, maybe because, I don't know, am I some kind of misogynist incel? I think facts would say otherwise, but I didn't see this one either. Why is she attacking Jordan Peterson? Tell me about that. And then who's coming out in defense of Peterson? Because this created a bit of controversy too.
So listen, I saw the movie. I didn't quite get how you go from Chris Pine's villain to Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is obviously a wildly successful author, lecturer. He's speaking to a group of disaffected men, but to paint them all as incels and misogynists, I didn't quite get that from Chris Pine's character in that movie.
Changing the world.
What are we doing?
Changing the world.
That's right.
However, of course, saying that your villain is inspired by Jordan Peterson, listen, it made a lot of headlines. It made headlines for us multiple times, especially when Mr. Peterson was on Piers Morgan last week, and he kind of broke down in tears when Piers asked him about it. So again, it's one of these things where Piers came out and said, I don't get it. Are you misogynistic? Jordan says, no, of course not. Megyn Kelly the other night also brought this up on her program, and she was quite adamant in her defense of Mr. Peterson against Ms. Wilde's comments.
And like Jordan Peterson, listen to Jordan Peterson, subscribe to Jordan Peterson, or anybody else speaking out about these issues, they get attacked, they get featured in an Olivia Wilde movie as some sort of demon. So screw her.
But again, Ms. Wilde's got to sell her movie. What's the best way to sell a movie? Create a little controversy around it.
And maybe that's all this is in the end. Mark, do you have any movies you would recommend to me? Because I've been looking around the theaters lately. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff that's driving me to part with my money to go sit for 2.5 hours in the dark. And I'm willing to do that. I love the experience of going to the movies, but I'm just not seeing a lot out there. Is it all going to streaming? What's happening with going to the movies?
Well, Brian, listen, there's a lot of big movies on the way. As we saw this past summer, audiences will come out when there is a big spectacle movie that demands to be seen on the big screen. Top Gun Maverick was evidence of that, as well as Doctor Strange, as well as Thor. All those movies performed quite well at the box office. Top Gun is actually Tom Cruise's biggest movie of his career. Next few months, we're going to see Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. We're going to see a sequel to Avatar. Believe it or not, it's been 13 years since the original movie came out. Everything I'm hearing about the next Avatar movie is that it's going to blow people away in its use of special effects as well as 3D. So I think there are movies that are coming that people are going to want to go out and see on the big screen. As for right now, I mean, Brian, I actually really liked Don't Worry, Darling. I thought it was great. I did not see where that movie was going to go. I was completely surprised by the outcome and the ending. So that is a great movie. Forget the Jordan Peterson stuff and just go and enjoy the ride. And then the other movie that's sort of sneaking up and catching a lot of people by surprise is Barbarian. It's a horror movie. So if you're not into horrors, don't go see it. But there is some real twists in that movie that have been surprising moviegoers. And that is a movie that's still chugging along. It was released almost a month ago, and it's still going and still finding an audience at movie theaters.
Well, in this day and age, that is proof that you've got something going on if you're still there a month later and still chugging along. Mark, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, let us know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media. Let us know what movies you're enjoying. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.